at 8:13 on West Bremer Radio. We're going to cross down to a man. It's pretty cold out there in the bush. Barcaldine Sandgoannas. They're a rugby league club. 90 years ago, they caused a sensation by poaching the Ipswich rugby league captain, and they haven't forgiven them yet.
How dare they?
90. Let's talk to Harold H. He cock-a-doodle-doo. He's going to explain the story, and he is now standing on the oval at the Barcaldine Sandgoannas.
Yes, good morning, Danny and Damo. It's actually the showgrounds here at Barcaldine. That's where the Sandgoannas played. Today, it's Rugby League Day because it was 119 years ago that Rugby League was founded, as you were saying on your very program this morning.
Yes. Well, tell us this story, because Ipswich is a big rugby league town.
Yeah, that's right, and as is Barcaldine. But there's actually a surprising number of connections between Ipswich and here in Barcaldine. The Ipswich artist Darcy Doyle has a huge mural in the main street of town here.
Wow.
And the tallest building in Barcaldine is the Water Tower, and it was built by a firm of engineers from Ipswich.
Oh.
And when I was coming here, I stopped halfway at Injune in August, and there's the steam locomotive from Queensland's worst rail disaster, and it was built in Ipswich.
Oh.
But the biggest and most controversial connection came, like you said, Danny, in 1936, when the Barcaldine Sandgoannas poached the Ipswich star player Colin Bull Thornton.
Colin Bull Thornton.
Now, Barcaldine were a good team back then, and they actually are now. In fact, last month, the Sandgoannas won their second consecutive Central West Rugby League premiership.
Wow.
But back in 1936, Bull Thornton was Ipswich's best player and captain, and Bull was selected for Queensland to tour New South Wales. And he was so well regarded that Sydney's Newtown club had pledged to sign him. Now, just 2 seasons earlier, Newtown, of course, had won their first premiership, and Bull only had to take the field for Queensland on the Sydney tour, and the big money of Newtown in the New South Wales Rugby League would have been his.
Right.
But Bull was controversially omitted from every single Queensland game on tour. And when he returned to Ipswich, he was even omitted from the Ipswich run-on team in the Bulimba Cup. Now, Bull knew that he'd been given a raw deal, and so immediately left Ipswich to join the Barcaldine Rugby League Club. Now, Ipswich the very next week then lost the Bulimba Cup decider to Toowoomba by a solitary point, and that loss many observers blamed on Bull's departure to Barcaldine. So Barcaldine cost Ipswich a premiership. Now, Bull did return to Ipswich for the 1937 season and was again a tower of strength for both Ipswich and Queensland, and this time was considered by leading critics as the unluckiest player to miss out on kangaroo selection that year.
Yeah.
Now, in 1938, Bull again turned his back on Ipswich, this time accepting a contract for £7 a week plus accommodation to be captain coach of the Townsville Rugby League team.
Right.
And the following year, 1939, Thornton was again captain of Townsville, and this time also captain of the whole of North Queensland.
Wow.
Now, Bull returned to Ipswich, and come 1946, 10 years after the great drama of his being left out, he reached the pinnacle of any Queenslander sporting career when he was appointed captain of the Queensland Rugby League team to tour New South Wales.
Wow.
Now, this time, Ipswich was oozing with pride over his appointment, noting that he was the second son of Mr. and Mrs. John Thornton of Hunter Street in Brassel. Bull's older brother, Roy, he'd actually represented the Ipswich in Rugby League as well, and another brother, Elazar, he'd been an attendant at the Ipswich Hospital for the Insane. Just not much to do with Rugby League, but I thought I'd tell you that. Anyway, after the 1946 Interstate Series, which Bull was captain, Townsville chased him again to come back up to Townsville to again be captain coach. But Bull had one more game to play in Ipswich, and it was against the touring England Rugby League team at the North Ipswich Reserve. Yeah. Now, England did not receive a single penalty through the entire match, whereas Ipswich, they benefited from 17 penalties. So I don't know who the referee was. It might have been you there, Danny. But in any case, England won the game by 29 points to 12. Bull was Ipswich's captain, and he played his best game of the season. Because it was said when the Ipswich pack was intact, Bull was devastating in the lock position. Anyway, look, Bull Thornton finished his career having played 29 representative games for Ipswich and 15 for Queensland, 3 of them as captain. But he could have played many more for Ipswich if not for the 1936 raw deal that he got, and subsequently being prized out of Ipswich by Barcaldine 90 years ago this year.
What a great side. You know, maybe you should do a bit of research about the Ipswich Rugby League because it's very, very old. And
it is, and the whole heap of history. Well, he's a Queensland captain from 90 years ago from Ipswich, and there's plenty more too if we want to dig them up.
The Blimber Cup was between Toowoomba, Ipswich, and
Brisbane.
My brother played, and he's still got the jersey. I think I got it.
Yeah, that was a great competition. That went for 70, 80 years, and it's a beautiful trophy if you've ever seen it. It's in the museum. It's a magnificent cup.
Which museum?
I think it's a Queensland museum.
Because those days the shields and that were really quality, weren't they?
Oh, look, well, silver to start with, so you can melt it down and make a bit. But look, I'm actually in Barcaldine to search. This is a different search. I'm searching for the lost grave of Maggie McNeil. She's my great-great-granddad. And this morning, I'm meeting with the mayor of Barcaldine and local historians, and then that quest to find Maggie McNeil will begin. So not just rugby league, but I'm finding a lot of stuff up there. And it's self-funded this time. I know you got in trouble with the expenses and so I'm paying for it myself. You can relax.
Mate, isn't that where the Australian Labor Party and the National Party started at Barcaldine?
Well, there's a tree of knowledge here where it was said that the Labor Party, the striking shearers met under there, but that's been debunked a little bit. It was actually their Salvation Army played their tambourines underneath that tree, but it's still a tree of knowledge.
And some bludger poisoned it after 100 years. Never caught the bludger. You would have voted Liberal, that's for sure.
Did you know there's about 6 different trees of knowledge around Queensland? They're everywhere.
Well, there's one here in the park opposite us.
Yeah, and there's one over at Gundawindi, and they're all over the place. We've got a few to spare.
They call it the Danny.
Yeah, that'd be right.
It's 20 past 8.
It's a very short tree, though.
You're funny, man.
Thank you.
It is a very short tree.
Yeah.
That was a great story. That was Harold the H. P. Cockadoodle-doo and Harold. How can we read that story and others?
Yeah, history out there. You can go to all my socials. That's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or my website, historyouthere.com.
And send me a video of you giving us a
I'm going to organise the cockatoos here to do that because there's hundreds of them flying over me every morning here that wake me up. That'd be a kookaburra. They're different from cockatoos, Danny, but we'll still do a video for you.
All right, mate. Have a great day. Thanks for your story and enjoy the beautiful outback, which is wonderful.
Will do. Talk next week.
It's 21 minutes past 8.